and gentlemen, my name is Chairman of the Organizing Committee of the 10th International Congress of Catalysis. On behalf of the Organizing Committee of the 10th International Congress, I welcome you here, and we are glad that you finally managed to be here and to attend the Congress, to meet old friends, to make new friends, new acquaintances. I would like to introduce the persons staying here. To my right, Professor Hungary, Minister with a portfolio on behalf of the Hungarian government, President of the National Committee for Technological Development. To my left, Professor Baltétényi, who is the Chairman of the Congress. Next to Professor Hungary is Dr. Kerst, on behalf of the HIMA. He is the President of the HIMA. To the left, Professor Jerzy Haber, President of the Council of the International Congress of Catalysis. To the far left is Professor Bernard Delmon, representative of UBAC. And the far right is Professor Zoltán Szabó, who is one of the persons who attended, among us, who attended the first International Congress of Catalysis in Philadelphia, 1956. First, I would like to call Professor Hungary to make his opening address.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, on behalf of the Hungarian government, I would like to extend to you our cordial welcome. We are appreciating very much that you have chosen Budapest, Hungary for the organization of the 10th International Congress of the Catalysis. After this introduction, a governmental person would like to continue with that you should have here nice capital, Budapest, and you can visit that, and you should enjoy this one. But I am, in my introduction it was forgotten probably, that I'm a professor of analytical chemistry, in a full job, and in a hard job I am a minister. Therefore, I would like to express also my opinion about the subject of the conference, As I was a student at the Turkish and formerly Pazdan University, we had an excellent professor of colloid chemistry. He was Professor Buzák, who underlined always that the phenomena in the chemistry and in the industrial chemistry too, the more important are which are on the surfaces of the various fluids or solid states and so on. And since that time, I was always using these ideas in my studies too, at first as the surface problems of the silver iodide, and later on as I introduced the new field of ion selective electrodes, where everything is happening on the surface, which is very, very important and which is very, very difficult for those people who started to learn the phenomena, the interpretations of them some 10 years before. Now you will have here a very important meeting, as I have seen in the timetable and also in the program. You have here very important lectures. I would like to wish from the side of the government to you a very fruitful meeting, and also I would like to ask you at the end that you should enjoy the stay in Budapest. Thanks.
Now I call Professor Jerzy Haber, President of the Council of the International Congress of Catalysis, to deliver his opening address.
Excellency Minister Bunga, ladies and gentlemen. Our modern civilization has three features. It is mobile, it is global, and it is mass civilization. All three features, Catalysis contributed to all these three features. It provided fuel to our mobility, it provided means for our mass production. And we almost began to believe that it has fulfilled its goal and it can pass into history. Suddenly we realized that we were very naive in believing that the product of our civilization can be really consumed by nature. We had the atavistic belief that the universe is infinite and whatever we throw out into this universe will disappear because nature will manage it. It turns out that unfortunately this was a very naive belief, and the corner of the universe in which we are living has limited ability to consume the products of our civilization, the waste we are throwing away. Therefore, it turns out that a new goal appears for Catalysis. There is a new huge challenge. We have to replace old, wasteful and energy-consuming processes by new, energy-saving, wasted processes. And we have to help nature to swallow what we have already produced. These are very great challenges and great goals. And we are more and more realizing that we must handle this with great care. Several hundred years ago, Rabelais, in his famous novel, Gargantua and Pantagruel, wrote in the words of Pantagruel, "Science sans conscience, c'est une ruine de l'âme." I think we are more and more aware how delicate is the nature which surrounds us and how important goals we have to fulfill as the catalytic community. I wish that this Congress, be the beginning on the new road of catalysis. Thank you.
Now I'm asking Professor Dalmore, representative of UPOP, to deliver his opening address.
Thank you very much. Excellent. Colleagues, I'm happy that Professor Haber described the importance of catalysis, because indeed that was the topic I wanted to take. In this audience, we are all convinced of the immense importance of catalysis for solving problems we are faced with, humanity is faced with. Our concern, our own problem, is to achieve that all those who are in charge of the scientific policy in our respective countries realize this importance and, of course, take proper action. The union of pure and applied chemistry can help us in many respects to reach this goal. You probably know the traditional image of IUPAC, which is issuing recommendations on nomenclature and symbols. Our Commission, under the influence of Professor Haber, participated in this action with two documents, one of which has been published last year, another one is about to be finished. But IUPAC wishes much more, namely to examine present crucial issues chemistry is faced with, and you probably know the series of big congresses that they organized, namely the Cameroon series. 3 years ago, it created a trans-divisional committee on environmental chemistry to show its concern for this problem. Our commission, Colloid and Surface Science, including Catalysis, created last year a subcommittee on advanced material. My task with the colleagues of this subcommittee is to publicize the role of surface and colloid chemistry and catalysis in creating and investigating new materials, and of course, particularly catalysts. In the electronic industry, they are eroding nanometer scale engineered materials. We, as I often say, we are more modest. We aim at tailor-made, sub-angstrom, smaller scale catalysts, and we succeed actually. So actually, IUPAC initiated also, in the frame of this action, a series of books entitled Chemistry for the 21st Century. The idea was to show to educated people, and hopefully to those who have the power to take decisions, that chemistry could achieve many things in the future. It is certainly a remarkable sign of the extreme vitality of catalytic science that the very first book of the series, just published, is devoted to catalysis with, as editors, Professor Thomas Samarai. But we must do more. We should try to appear, I believe, on TV, to make talks, write articles for the general public, contact the influent newspaper journalists, and contact the environmental groups who can understand what we say, or to help them understand what we say, in order to convince them that chemistry is not the ugly devil they believe, and that catalysis in particular is a nice, very effective way to solve problems. This is recognized awfully difficult, but we must do that. IUPAC functions thanks to the contribution from national bodies and industries. 1,500 chemists of over 40 countries cooperate in the various actions of IUPAC. But in addition, over 7,000 chemists from 80 different countries are affiliates, namely individual members of IUPAC. This affiliate membership program permits to maximize the participation of chemists throughout the world to the general IUPAC affairs. The affiliates receive the magazine Chemistry International, and they are entitled to various reductions for fees and subscriptions. I would be happy, on behalf of IUPAC, to give more information to those who are interested, and I hope that I will be able to display the main document concerning IUPAC and the individual membership at a place that the organizers will attend. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Professor Delmont. I think it's one of the most appropriate occasions that the Alvi-Mittasch medal, established by Deutsche Chemische Gesellschaft, could be delivered to a first time to a person who had achievement in the field of catalysis. So I asked the first president of the HEMA to deliver the medal and give the deliver a speech for us.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure for me to present today, for the second time, the Alvi-Mittasch medal in front of this audience. Alvi-Mittasch, born in 1869, was one of the outstanding pioneers in the field of heterogeneous catalysis. A student of Wilhelm Ostwald, he did his PhD work with Max Bodenstein in Berlin and devoted his later scientific studies to the preparation of catalysis. It was Alvi-Mittasch who found the effective composition of the catalyst for both the synthesis and the oxidation of ammonia. To honor the memory of this famous chemist, the DECIMA, donated by BASF, established the Alvi-Mittasch medal. which is conferred upon a distinguished scientist who has contributed exceptional work in the field of catalysis. The Alvin Mittasch Medal was first awarded in 1990. Today, the second medal is conferred upon Professor Jurek Haber, head of the Institute for Catalysis and Surface Chemistry of the Polish Academy of Science in Krakow, Poland. Professor Haber was born in 1930 in Krakow, and it is there that he studied chemistry. In 1956, he finished his PhD studies with Professor Bilansky on the electronic factor and catalysis. After serving as research fellow with F.C. Tompkins at Imperial College in London in 1960 and with Frank Stone in Western in 1961, he accepted the chair for physical chemistry of the solid state at the Mining Academy at Krakow. In 1968, he was appointed director of the newly established research laboratories for catalysis and surface chemistry of the Polish Academy of Science. In more than 320 scientific publications, several contributions to books, numerous patents, Professor Haber has made extraordinary contributions to the field of catalysis. His systematic studies on the catalytic activity and selectivity of oxide and mixed oxide systems, his fundamental work on solid-state properties, and his quantum chemical calculation of gas surface interactions resulted in major advances to the understanding of oxide catalysis, which, as we all know, in several cases allowed the successful development of catalysts for the protection of the environment. Professor Haber, I would like you to come up here. The medal and the award reads: the Alvin Mittasch Medal of the Decima is conferred upon Professor Dr. Jurek Haber of Krakow for his fundamental work in the science of catalysis. His investigations on the catalytic behavior of oxide systems based on solid-state and quantum chemistry led to comprehensive contributions to the understanding of heterogeneous catalysis. Budapest, July 20, 1990, Decima Deutsche Gesellschaft für chemisches Apparatewesen, chemische Technik und Biotechnology, die President.
And I think that we are now more and more realizing that what Blaise Pascal wrote many hundred years ago, that savoir c'est beaucoup plus beau de savoir quelque chose sur tout que de savoir tout sur une chose. C'est une vraie universalité. I think that we are more and more aware that our scientific reductionism, on which science was based in the first half of the 20th century, has to give way to the more holistic approach in which we shall treat the nature as a whole and all phenomena together. And this brings to us back the model of a man of Renaissance. I think that we should move in the direction of having more and more universal knowledge and a more and more universal approach to every phenomenon which we study. Let me remind you the words of other famous German scientist who was the founder of catalysis. It was Professor Georg Maria Schwab, who in the introduction to his famous Handbuch für Catalyse, which was edited in about 50 years ago, wrote: Auch noch heute in die Katalyse ist mehr ein händisches Gefühl als ein mathematisches Rechnen. Also today is catalysis more the chemical feeling than the mathematical calculation. I think this is the feature of catalysis which attracted Albin Mitters and many other great people, and this is the feature which remains so attractive in catalysis today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Haber, and congratulate on behalf of the organizing committee for having this accomplishment. And now I'm calling Professor Teteni, who is the chairman of the Dance International Congress of Catalysis, to officially open the Congress.
Ladies and gentlemen, Excellency, dear colleagues, it's an especially great privilege for me to welcome you at the 10th International Congress on Catalysis at the opening. It was an honor for the Hungarians that are active in this field, an honor for Hungarian science, and an honor for this small country in Central Europe that the Council of the Congress at its 1988 meeting selected Budapest as the site of the 10th International Congress of the World Catalytic Community. We are extremely glad that so many outstanding scientists and engineers from 41 countries of all over the world have come to this Congress. The number of participants announced has so far exceeded 950, and we hope it will increase yet further during the next few days. I would like to express sincere thanks on behalf of the organizing committee to those Hungarian and foreign companies and institutions who have been sponsoring this Congress. Our special gratitude should be expressed for the substantial support of the Council of the European Community, Council of EC. We are highly appreciative of the helpful understanding of our problems by the EC and by the other sponsoring organizations. The financial help of the sponsors has made it possible to apply reduced fees for students and to finance the participation fees for a number of our colleagues, authors of contributions, who would otherwise have found it impossible to attend. And last but not least, I express our warmest thanks to the authors of papers and posters submitted for this Congress. Let me include my warmest wishes, and I am sure I can speak for all of us, to those colleagues who were already among the contributors at the first ICC in 1956. There are 4 who are still so active as to have a presentation both at the first Congress in 1956 and now at the 10th International Congress on Catalysis, namely Professor Jeffrey Bond, Michel Boudard, Robert Henschens, and Frank Stowe. Dear colleagues, I wish all of you fruitful discussions and conversation both in these session halls and out of them as well. I hope this Congress will be the birthplace of new initiatives and ideas, and that it will be the occasion for numerous news, friendly relations among our international catalytic community to be made. With these words, I declare the 10th International Congress on Catalysis open. Thank you.
Excellency, gentlemen, I thank you very much for being with us this morning at the opening ceremony. And now we continue with the first plenary lecture. Thank you. Until I would like to say some practical hints to you. First of all, if you have any problem during the Congress, please don't hesitate to contact any of the person who wearing this red badge. They are belonging to the organizing committee. they had, and I had some problems from the presenters of oral papers that they do not have the slides. As you know, in the introduction, on the second sentence was underlined that no any slides are acceptable. So please contact the photographer who will make a slide for your overhead a few times. And now I would like to introduce our first